Halo finally looks set to make the jump to PlayStation this year. Finish the fight. Microsoft is seemingly ready to launch its flagship Xbox video game series, Halo, on rival platforms for the first time, including PlayStation and Nintendo Switch 2. Leaker Nate the Hate, who this week reported that Nintendo is set to reveal Switch 2 on January 16th, also reported in a separate podcast that Microsoft will finally bring Halo to PlayStation in the form of a PlayStation 5 port of Halo: The Master Chief Collection, as well as a release on Switch 2. Windows centrist Jazz Corden subsequently corroborated the report. Microsoft declined comment when contacted by IGN. While Microsoft's multi-platform video game strategy is well documented at this stage, Halo was seen as the final frontier. However, perhaps the famous first-person shooters fight from Xbox shouldn't come as a surprise. Last year, Microsoft's gaming chief Phil Spencer said there was no red lines in the first-party lineup when it comes to going multi-platform, and that included Halo. Speaking to Bloomberg, Spencer said every Xbox game is up for grabs when it comes to making the multi-platform jump. I do not see sort of red lines in that portfolio that says thou must not, he said. Microsoft has so far used older games released over a year ago for its multi-platform push as opposed to brand new games. But that will soon change with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which comes out on PS5 just a few months after it launched on Xbox and PC. Indiana Jones is the latest first-party Xbox game to make the jump for a rival console, and follows the multi-platform release of Obsidian's Pentiment and Grounded. Tango Gameworks, Hi-Fi Rush, and Rare's Sea of Thieves earlier in 2024. In June, Microsoft announced ID Software upcoming Doom: The Dark Ages will also launch on PS5 this year. Spencer has said Xbox's multi-platform push is in part about bringing in more money to Microsoft's gaming business, with the pressure now to deliver following its eye-watering $69 billion acquisition of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard. We run a business, Spencer said in August. It's definitely true inside of Microsoft. The bar is high for its terms of the delivery we have to give back to the company because we got a level of support from the company that's just amazing and what we're able to go do. So I look at this. How can we make our games as strong as possible? Our platform continues to grow on console, on PC, and on cloud. It's just going to be a strategy that works for us. Continue to tell yourself that. As former Xbox executive Peter Moore told IGN last year, bringing Halo to PlayStation will have been a topic of discussed at Microsoft for some time. Look, if Microsoft says we're doing $250 million on our own platforms, but if we then took Halo as, let's call it, a third party, we could do $1 billion. You've got to think long and hard about that, right? Moore said. I mean, you just got to go, yeah. Should it be kept? It's a piece of intellectual property. It's bigger than just a game. And how do you average that? How do you leverage that? Those are the conversations that always happen with how do you leverage one in everything that we would do. It's not, it has its ups and downs. But look, Xbox wouldn't be what Xbox is without Halo. But yeah, I'm sure those conversations are happening. Whether they come to fruition or who knows. But they're definitely happening, I'm sure. Microsoft does face a potential backlash from hardcore Xbox fans who are already disgruntled after what they feel is a devaluing of the Xbox as a console, the lack of exclusives, and Microsoft's marketing strategy for its gaming business. Losing Halo to PlayStation could spark yet another angry response, but more said IGN that won't deter Microsoft uh, from doing what's right for its business. The question would be ultimately is that reaction enough out to make a fundamental business decision for the future of not only Microsoft's business, but gaming in itself, Moore said. Those hardcore are getting smaller in size and older in age. You've got to cater to the generations that are coming through because they're going to drive the business over the next 10, 20 years. Yes, because PlayStation's doing the same. Oh, no, wait, they're not. Halo isn't alone in coming to PS5 and Switch 2. Nate the Hate reported that Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is also coming to PS5 and Switch 2. Windows Central additionally added reported that Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition, Hellblade 2, and Age of Mythology are coming to PS5 in 2025. Well, there's Gears of War.
Uh-uh.
The Question now is, does Halo the Master Chief Collection release on PS5 and Switch 2 open the door to other Halo games also going multi-platform? Could the next big Halo game launch across all platforms? Last year, tech experts said Halo's move to Unreal Engine 5 would make it easier for developer Halo Studios, uh, NE 343 Industries, to take the game to PS5. So let's see if there's comments. Yeah, here we go. So just waiting for comments to load. But while we wait for comments to load, this is absolutely ludicrous. I mean, this is like when okay, so comments aren't loading. Um, but I'm gonna go first. This is like when Sonic appeared as in Sonic Advance on the Game Boy Advance. It's like if you didn't believe it yet that Sega was dead as a console, now you know. And I feel and with Gears of War and Halo going to PlayStation, what reason is there to get an Xbox?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, and it's not like this is any better because if Xbox wants to do this, just get out of console waste, be a third party developer. But you also don't want that because then you got PlayStation 5 releasing PS5 Pro for $800. So the next PS6 will probably be over $1,000 with a detachable disc drive and stand that you have to buy separately. And it's just like it's I just don't see it. Just tell your fans that you're giving up. There is I mean at least Sega waited till their Dreamcast was dead before Sonic appeared on a Nintendo console.
Yep.
But no, Halo and Master Chief and even Gears of War are going to be on PS5. I really
If
don't see the reason to get an Xbox console of any kind unless it's one from the past.
Oh yeah, unless if there's an exception though, like it comes down to I lost my train of thought for a second, but there's something about Phil Spencer that actually he mentioned it himself back a year ago that he gave up, generally speaking, over that podcast and show with one of the YouTube gamers. He just said it out loud. He said, "I gave up on his other projects." Phil Spencer said it, paraphrasing. So he was predicting what's going to happen for the next year or two, and a year later he's telling the truth now. He's moving on. Something other than Xbox itself. Now it's just the brand. That's about it. It was just more mentioned
Oh,
years in advance.
but don't
Somehow,
forget
somewhere.
they still want you to buy their Xbox consoles.
Yeah. That's not important for the last decade now. So
Yeah, so I mean, this is just like I said. There's at this point, there's no reason not to get a PS4, PS5. I don't think you need a Pro at the PS5
hmm
Pro, but there's barely any reason to get a PS5 other than Spider-Man 2, in my opinion. So
I bet. Like
go
I
on.
say this, I bet that the fans that wanted the Halo on the PS system, they forgot that once they do that with every console, what's the point of having consoles to begin with from the start of it all? You know. And I told that to the younger gamers, like you guys don't know what you're doing or what you're saying online, to some degree. To some degree, they have some truth that you want some of your games on all your consoles. I understand that feel like the access to it all, is a 2025 spoken words, but 25, 30 years ago that wasn't the case. So what has changed is that the gamers just been like submitted themselves to more slavery of like as a consumer because I can keep track of all these games on different consoles easily for what you want to buy on what console. Because if it's on everywhere, what's the choice is not there anymore. It's more like if it's everywhere, there's nowhere because it's the same thing ever done all the time. No exclusivity. So
Yeah, so it's just the like I said, this is if you didn't know Xbox was dead as a console, um, what other proof do you need now? Because now Halo and
Mm-hmm.
Gears of War are coming to Xbox. Let me see. I think comments loaded while you were talking. So um, yeah, so I'll read the top three. David Xavier goes, possible end to the console war on the horizon. Not sure how I feel about that. Competition drives quality and is usually better for the consumer. If gamers don't have an alternative, if they don't like what they're getting, tough nuggets. Jasco20 goes, Sony products need to be expensive, and PS was one of the exceptions, most likely thanks to competition. Without it, all I can think of is them going full Nvidia. And
Mm-hmm.
Old Mac Groom goes, Old Mac Old
Mm-hmm.
McGroom 83 goes, be prepared for new consoles to cost north of £1,000 without disk drives if there is no competition. Yeah, that's why I hate modern gaming, because
Mm-hmm.
you're basically at PlayStation. Unless you're a Nintendo gamer, you're at PlayStation. You're going to be at PlayStation's whim from now on.
Oh yeah.
You didn't have to. I mean, you didn't have to worry about that because Nintendo and Sega, excuse me, they were yeah, true. They were the only two in the '90s, but gaming. It was a miracle gaming was able to come back in the states in the mid '80s. But even in the days of the Super Nintendo, PlayStation was working on what was originally a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo, which became the Sony PlayStation. Then by the time Sega died out, you had Microsoft enter, and you still had Nintendo in there. But yeah, if you but yeah, Halo and Gears of War are now coming to PlayStation 5.
All because this all younger gamers saying like, "Yeah, we want everything on everything. We want everything on everything, please." And I'm like, I'm trying to tell these guys, these younger guys, the younger gamers, I'm like, you guys don't know what you're saying. You're asking too much. You're asking for it altogether. Like it's gonna be a shitstorm within the next 5 or 10 years from now when it's gonna be like everything's on everything. Subscribe to everything now. They're not seeing the bigger picture. Most of these gamers, who
Yeah,
are younger than us, especially.
but the thing is, I really can't blame the younger gamers that much because these people who make the decision should know better.
Hmm.
They're the adults. Make a decision, and make a smart decision. And like I said, if you want to give up on Xbox, just announce that you're giving up on Xbox. You kind of Phil Spencer already kind of did.
Hmm. Yeah,
Anything
this was
else to
Redfall. This was Redfall and what's it called? Starfield.
Starfield?
Now Redfall was a horrible launch or horrible experience. I hear you here, but Starfield's kind of mediocre as fuck. So it's kind of like in like the midst of it all. So it's kind of like you want to play it, but you really want to spend the first 24 hours to know what's going on in the game, or to at least have an in-depth experience. So it's kind of like 24 hours is a lot of like time for me to spend. Especially
Right.
as me as an older adult gamer. So, because when
Yeah.
you get older, your time is more precious than ever, and it just the clock keeps ticking and ticking. You don't want to spend 100 hours easily on Starfield, knowing that you're only getting a mediocre experience. And we see it now thanks to other gamers doing it online. So thank goodness for being in the year 2025 where you hear other gamers, especially on their gameplay experiences, to see them and they see that yeah, this is not worth it, guys. And if it is worth it to you, go do it as a young gamer. Try to understand the stars and space and the science of it all. The universe. The coolness of it all. Do that for imagination as a younger gamer. Like you were like 10, 12, 13 years old. Like Starfield should be a mature game. It should be like a teen game out of like the sake of like the content that's concerned, because obviously this rate and mature stuff is starting to become more like a teenager's content now as they get older, and it's kind of stupid on their part to keep like watering it down for everyone. Plus, it applied to certain core audiences. That's how it was though with gaming back in the day, 25 years ago, where it's like for people who like sports, they stick with the 2K games back in the day, like football, basketball, hockey, you name it. Those are the shits back that I hear. And I am a more, I never really was an actual sports gamer, but I play sports with my friends at their houses play at times over. It was the best experiences ever. Now, good luck trying to have that experience, in 2025 with these things, the sports as a standalone, and
Yep.
that's on every console now. And it's kind of like it's like you can't play with your friends as much because it's they do the split screen of the matter of the madness at hand. So that's my perspective and all. That's all.